Welcome back to the Running Report, where we give you running news produced for and by the culture. And we are on another episode of Two Black Runners, like I said before, and we doing it one more time. This is our new type of podcast type series. I'm your guy Joshua Potts, always joined with a brother from the same mother, Aaron. Aaron, how you doing, bro?
Dude, I'm doing great. I'm real excited about who we got on today. I think we're gonna put a lot of people on right now.
Yeah, bro. If y'all don't follow this man already on Instagram, if you don't follow him on YouTube, I don't really know where you've been. I don't know where you've been in the running world, but we got somebody over here that will steal your PR in his Gucci socks and his Gucci flip-flops. We have the man from Georgetown who's been doing it for about 4 years now. We have the man, he's special.
The one and only.
He is the athlete special, my guy, bro. We got Spencer Brown on Two Black Runners. Spencer, how's it going, bro? How you been?
How's it going, guys? Thanks so much for having me on the podcast. I've been doing well. It's for sure a weird time for all of us with this whole quarantine situation. But I'm just trying to stay positive, enjoy life for now, and appreciate you guys having me on.
And we don't want to really dive too much into I'm sorry, Aaron, for cutting you off. We don't want to dive too much into COVID-19, but we saw just like how's it been affecting your daily life like so far as we got more into this. I know here in California it's pretty crazy, bro. Like I was on a run today just solo dolo, and I saw like a family of 3 walking when all 3 of them had masks on, and they kind of like protected themselves for me as I tried to like run to the sides. It's getting wild over here, but like how's it is out there for you?
Yeah, so I'm in Connecticut, which is a really big hotbed for COVID-19. And I know it's literally all anyone talks about these days, but it definitely affects day-to-day life for me. Running, I've actually gotten in trouble a few times with running with friends, so I have to kind of dial that back, do a lot more social distancing type stuff. But it's just an adjustment that I think everyone's got to be making, and I think at the end of the day, like we're all, understanding that this issue is bigger than running, so we just have to get through it and do what we can to help others. But it's definitely for sure affected training. I can't get on any tracks anymore, which is really tough, and it's made workouts a lot more difficult to do and filming. But I don't know, it's definitely become a new challenge and obstacle, especially with trying to get videos out. But we're all in the same boat at the end of the day, so that's sort of my take on that.
Yeah, no lie. Me and Joshua just the other day had to hop a fence so he could get a workout in with our dad. So we could definitely relate.
Bro, you're not supposed to disclose that information, bro. We don't want to incriminate ourselves. Right?
Oh, my bad.
But then moving on from that, bro, we also seen that like COVID-19 like really affected like your outdoor season going on, your final track season as you came back for a 5th year. Just talk about that decision real quick of just like you already said in your videos that you're gonna forego your decision of coming back next year, even before like the eligibility thing like came out. Like how'd you feel and how'd you come to that decision?
Well, yeah, that first and foremost, that for any athlete who was in the NCAA and all sports, it just sucked so much when they ended the season for everyone. We all understood why they did it, and it was the right decision, but it didn't make it any better feeling for us. And it was such a crappy way for me to go out as a 5th year. But I made the decision even before we heard that you could get another year of eligibility back, that I was for sure going to be done with being an NCAA athlete after this year. Being an NCAA athlete is really fun. I loved it. I did it for 5 years, but it does restrict a lot of what I could do content-wise with my videos. And at the end of the day, like I was really ready to move on from the NCAA. I never got the closure that I wanted, but would it be worth holding out on being able to monetize videos and move somewhere else just for one more year of outdoor track? I don't think it would have been worth it for me. But I appreciate that question, and a lot of people have asked me about that, and it's probably one that could have gone either way. But I think for just me personally, I have a lot left in the tank for running outside of the NCAA, so it's not like I'm done running. It's not like, oh, you ended your career short. I plan on professionally running, so I just kind of thought that I needed to move on. So that's my answer.
So we got Spencer Brown here, athlete special, 44K subs, trying to go pro, get a sponsorship now, but like, where does this all begin? Where does it start? I looked up a little bit on you, saw you were a club runner. Me and Joshua grew up doing clubs. So how did you get into running?
That's where it's at.
Like, who really got that running kick into you? I think it's in your genes, I'm hearing from watching your videos. So tell us a little bit about that.
The origin story, yeah. So I actually got into running when I was in 3rd grade. My dad was a former runner. He was a big-time athlete. He ran at University of Michigan, was a big marathoner. But I started competitively running, like I said, 3rd grade. But I did other sports. I did soccer, baseball, a little bit of basketball. Was not good at basketball. But eventually when I went to high school, I decided I'd run full-time. I just kind of fell in love with it. Nothing really is a better feeling than getting a new PR or a new achievement, and I kind of just got addicted to that. And my high school coach and dad trained me throughout high school, and I felt like I just kept being able to achieve my goals. And at first I really wanted to be a college runner, and then I did that, and then I wanted to continue into being a professional runner, and that's the goal now. But I think that I probably suffer from the same curse that all runners do, and that's that, like, you just can't get enough. Once you get a PR, you have to do better. Exactly, like you're never satisfied. So that's sort of just been my cornerstone, and I'm just never satisfied with what I've run. But like that's I've been running for a very, very long time competitively. Like you guys mentioned, I did club running back in the day, and a lot of kids who do club running, they never end up continuing to run throughout high school. They kind of burn out or just stop. But I don't know. I always really kept the passion and made sure not to get too high or too low on myself. Just because I know that running is such an easy sport to burn out with. So I've always been really careful about that. And you kind of always have to ask yourself, like, are you having fun with it? Because if you're not, then you shouldn't be doing it. But that's the origin story of just, how I started my career.
Yeah.
And then definitely, go ahead, Aaron.
I was going to say, like, similar to you, I started running in the 2nd grade. And doing club track all the way through high school. Then I wanted to go to college. Then I started running with the Aggies up in San Obispo. But people always would ask me and my older brother, like, even when I was in high school, because like you're saying, a lot of club runners burn out. And I'd be like, man, how'd you get like to where you're at? Or I'm like, well, everyone else just stopped running. I just kept running. Like, I had a passion for it that they didn't. I just kept running and kept getting better and finding ways to improve. So I think that's super, super sick that we can all really relate on that.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's not even about who's like the best. It's really just about who can keep going the longest in terms of just staying healthy, mentally being there, and just wanting to continue, doing it. Yeah, that's a great point.
And definitely, since you've been running for so many years, we've all had those low valleys and those highs on those mountaintops. But who has gotten you through those type of points? Who is that person that's impacted you and inspired you the most to up to this point in your life, would you say?
Definitely my dad. That's without a doubt. He's been a great mentor. I think he's really just made me mentally tough over the years. For me, that's a no-brainer. Obviously, as a coach and dad, just great guy, and he has just taught me so many lessons of how to stay positive and not. It's really about just fighting the highs and fighting the lows. You can never ever get too down on yourself after a poor performance or an injury, and it's so. I mean, we all know it's so hard to keep that highs high and low, but definitely my dad.
So when you're in high school too, and you started hitting those fast times and colleges started looking at you, was Georgetown always like the plan, or was there any other schools you were really looking for, or what stood out about Georgetown in particular?
So I actually, it's funny. I always dreamed about going to Michigan, like my dad did, and then I visited the school on an official visit finally, and it was a great school. I had a lot of fun on the visit, but I didn't really get the, I guess, it feeling. But when I went on my official visit to Georgetown, I got that it feeling, and I thought that they just set me up for a better academic and athletic experience. And totally do not regret the decision of going to Georgetown. But yeah, the coach, Brandon Bonzi, was just super enthusiastic about me. So he was excited about me, so I was excited about the program and loved my time there.
Great mid-distance program,
And then
like always there.
Yeah, just see them at the Penn Relays every year. Y'all are there, like competing for a top spot. And then we'll definitely like touch on that later. But before, like, speak on just like the little bit of the culture of just like the school of like Georgetown, because I know y'all are straight up in the smack dab of Washington D.C. and just the culture of like the team. Because if you see from like your vlogs and everything like that, if you guys haven't checked them out, definitely go check it out. Like, you guys have like a pretty fun time, definitely on the distance crew.
Yeah, no, I think the culture is really what I love the most about Georgetown. On the team. The team is what I was there for at the end of the day. It's a really difficult school academically, but it was hard to balance academics and athletics at times, but you kind of just have to figure it out for yourself. Everyone's different. In terms of the team culture, like I said, that's what I love the most about it. We all knew how to have fun with each other during practice, during workouts, and kind of hype each other up, get competitive, and really just try and stay positive with each other. Yeah, it's crazy thinking back that I'm never going back right now, but it's it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think at the end of the day,
Crazy.
like running and trying to do well in the sport, a lot of what can help is having a great team around you. And I probably didn't realize that until I was older when I had a fun team. You can run a lot faster if you're running for your teammates rather than just yourself.
Yeah, definitely feel that. And then I see you also started. I believe you started the vlog when you're in college. So like, what really gave you like the true idea to like put yourself out there and really let people into your life?
Changed the
And when you
game.
started the
Changed
athlete
the
special.
YouTubing game completely.
Well, yeah, I started freshman year actually. So people listening want to look back on my entire college career. I guess it's all just on YouTube, pretty much every race. But it started from freshman year indoor. Um, or I was home on winter break. My sister wanted to hang out with me, and I told her I can't hang out. I have to do a double run later this afternoon. And then she was like, "You know what, Spencer? Literally all you do is run. Your life is so boring. Why don't you just make a YouTube channel about it just to show everyone how boring it is?" So I was like, "You know what? I'll do that." And then I
Yeah.
posted a video of me just like kind of messing around at my house, running around. That was my first ever video. And then from there, I kind of just fell in love with making vlogs. At first, they were for my teammates and I just to laugh at. They weren't getting any
Mhm.
views. And over time, maybe a few years later, uh, way more people started watching them, and then it just kind of changed the whole uh, perception of what I was doing. I tried to always stay true to like who I was in the videos and not kind of become a character. But yeah, it's definitely looking back from my old videos to the ones I post now. I'm definitely a very different person, but it's weird to think that there's a pretty big fan base, or I wouldn't even call it fan base, but a pretty good amount of people who kind of watch the life of just runners.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
too how like Joshua. I feel like people always hit you up, Joshua, and they ask you like ask for advice on starting a vlog or a podcast. And what is your response that you always say, Joshua?
It's like, bro, you gotta keep on doing it. Like, you just gotta do it. Cause I think you like if you keep on saying I want to do it, if I want to do it, like it's never gonna happen. And then you really just gotta have fun with it,
Yeah.
to be honest. Cause you ain't having fun with just making a vlog about, especially just like running, like you gotta just do it. And especially like right now too. Like I feel like definitely when you started, there wasn't really nobody doing those type of like running vlogs. But then once I got into it with my team, I feel like that's when more and more people started doing it. But like especially now, you just gotta go out there and do it and try.
Yeah, and I like how
Yeah, no.
yours is like called the athlete special. Like instead of like, it's not like, I don't know, because sometimes with runners they get caught up on like just being a runner, but like you're an athlete, and I like the name. Like, where did the name athlete special really come from?
These are really good questions. Because the name came from this deli sandwich in my hometown. It's called the Athlete's Special, and it was like my favorite deli sandwich. So I just took that name, changed it to the Athlete Special, and
Ah,
that was just it. Just simple and fun. But I will agree with what Joshua was saying about. I get so many kids, and I'm sure you do, always asking, "Hey, how do I? What's your advice for starting a channel?" And he hit it right on the head. That
hmm
it's literally just about consistency and being passionate about
Hmm.
it, and not doing it for views. Anyone
Yeah.
who gets a somewhat
yes,
successful channel on YouTube, especially for YouTube runners, which is starting to actually become very popular.
yes,
Um,
Yeah.
uh, what makes a channel successful, or how you're going to have success, is just post a lot, and don't post for views. Post because you're having fun with it. Like, if you're not having fun with it, then you're never going to do anything with it, because you're eventually going to burn out. So you have to do it
Yeah, for sure.
for yourself, and like, you always have to check yourself and make sure that you're having fun while doing it. So that was a really
people
good point
enjoy
that you made.
seeing people have fun too, like authentic, just like real fun, just being themselves.
Genuine fun.
Yeah,
I also wanted to pick up how Aaron said that, like, oh no, I'm all over the place. How you said that, like, bro, like, running, like, YouTube is actually getting, like, really popular.
yeah.
Like, first it was, like, a real niche thing, and it's really, like, niche still right now. But I think, honestly, I'm gonna say this right now, put it on wax, everybody can hear me right now, like, Spencer, you can take this to the next level. That's how I was telling Aaron about this next week. I think what you're doing right now, and how, like, when I met you last year at Brian Clay, that's when you started like blowing up. Like, I remember probably then you probably had like 8K, I want to say, and now you're at 44K. And I just think right now in this time, and like with the trials coming up next year, and like and you're just pursuit of getting that professional like career, because there's no one vlogging as much as you do at that lead of a level. You can not just bring running to like the next level, you can bring the entire vlogging of sports to the next level. And that's my little 2 cents on just keep on doing what you're doing real quick.
I appreciate that, and yeah, I think I love thinking about kind of the inception of YouTube runners. It used to just kind of be like my channel. I know your guys' channel was like, because it was the Rusi project back in the day,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then there was Emma Abramson, and then Zach
hmm
Levitt came along eventually. But it
And
really,
there's Strahan.
yeah, and then now it seems like there's so many more like people on the rise with YouTube. But yeah, that's honestly always been my goal. Exactly what you're saying. I just want to bring a bigger light to like the world of running, and like real running, like the nitty gritty stuff that like sucks about the sport, and the stuff that's amazing about the sport, like the grindy stuff when you're waking up early to do a workout, have a bad workout, have a bad race, or have a great workout, great race. It's The whole sport is so dynamic that just showing all aspects, I think, is really relatable and fun for everyone. But yeah, I appreciate that, and just we got plenty of stuff in store for the next year. I'm just super excited about kind of, as you said, trying my best to take it to the next level.
Yeah, I think you on your way. You on your way. I'm telling you that
especially
right now.
especially with you like now like pursuing that professional career with running and having your own brand along with some sponsorship. Somebody needs to come out and sponsor this man. But that's gonna be that's gonna be something that like you're gonna open up a new gateway for runners. Like I think people should take into consideration like those that 44K subscribers that you have when looking for that sponsorship. Like you have people like when well we're about to get into the races right now, but like I've been watching a bunch of your videos preparing for this, but just watching when you did the 4 minute mile, like I was able to watch that and I could like feel your energy, like your genuine like happiness from like accomplishing that goal. And like that's what really is gonna attach people to you and give you that following over like some guy that's running like 3:28, you know? People love to see the entire come up. So I'm super excited for you too and see what's gonna happen. But speaking of these races, let's get into this Blue Jean mile world record. I just watched that video actually. Pretty impressive. 4:16 for a mile in some skinny
In
jeans.
jeans.
I mean, they were
In
kind of
blue
skinny. They were skinny jeans
jeans.
too. How did that come about?
You got the
So-
super skinnies on? What?
Yeah.
That was actually a couple of years ago now. Fun fact, I only held the record for like a week, and then some guy came along and broke it after seeing my video.
That's
Some guy from BYU, he ran like 4:11. So
Wow.
I had the record for a little bit of time, but I basically knew this guy who was in charge of like the Blue Jean Mile. It wasn't supposed to be that big of a deal, but I thought it'd be funny if I just like went all in for it. And I knew that they were hosting an event.
Yeah.
And I told them I was going to come and try to film a video and just like kind of go super hardo on it and actually try like my best for it. And it on it, you guys should go out and try it. The jeans don't actually slow you down that much. For me, it was the belt. The belt was really weird because it was like weird on my hip. It messes up your hips more than anything. But that was just honestly for fun. I just like doing fun things like that. Definitely am going to be doing an attempt soon once I can get back on an attract.
okay.
I'm gonna go on record. I'm gonna break 4:10.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is there like a certain type of jeans like you're required to wear?
Yeah, there is. So it has to be 100% cotton. It's pretty technically official, I guess. It's just really funny, but like I don't know. The whole thing is dumb, but we all laugh about it. And I think it can honestly become like a kind of big thing if people want to get into it. Sort of like the beer mile, but like
Yeah.
obviously like anyone can get involved because it's not beer and like it's not or like the chocolate milk mile, but like it's more
Not
appealing
disgusting.
in some ways. Exactly. Like who
Yeah.
actually wants to drink chocolate milk and throw up at the end or beer and throw up?
Not
Like
me.
they're not fun to do, you know. This is kind of fun to do.
Yeah, when you said that 100% cotton, I don't know if I want to be doing that, bro. I sweat a lot, bro. That doesn't sound fun, to be honest. That really does not sound
the
fun.
chafing is gonna be unreal. The chafing is the,
Well,
the baddest
you
part.
just have to wear half tights underneath, and then you're good to go. There is some chafing though, so yeah. I honestly
Yeah.
just take it at your own risk.
He said- But then, move on to that, bro. Like, let's just move right into. Oh, actually, never mind. Backtrack. Wait, actually, no. My bad. Let's move into that sub-4 performance, bro. I really want to talk about that and just take us a little bit through that race and just your mindset going in and just what were you thinking afterwards and during.
So at the time I had run I think 4:04, but I knew I was in shape to run 4 flat or under. And the week prior I ran 4:04, and I was really like nervous and tight before that race and ended up not doing as well as I wanted. So I kind of just actually before the race, before the sub-4 race, I told myself, you know what, just like get this stupid time goal out of your head, like because I had been trying to break 4 for a bunch of years, and I was like, you're just getting in your own head about it. Like it's such a number barrier thing that it doesn't actually exist. but like just don't even, who cares if you break 4 or not, like just don't think about it. And then in the race I kind of just stayed as relaxed as I could, and honestly felt like a great surge with 1 lap to go, because I kind of glanced up and knew I was close, but I knew I'd have to close fast. And I hate to say it, but it's one of those races, I don't know if you guys have that feeling ever, but I finished and like I just felt super light and not like that tired in the moment. It's the races that are the bad ones that hurt the most.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
your best races,
Yeah.
you feel great after. You're like, I could for sure go faster. But it was really, really fun because I didn't know I broke 4, and I had to wait for the thing to come up, and I barely did it. It was like 0.03 under, which was just like funny because it's like you barely did it, but you did. I don't know. And then yeah, I talked a lot after, and a lot of people were super positive to me about it. And no, it was just a great experience and something that kind of changed me for the good. And I think that just a lot of people can relate to it. Like, you have a goal, you go out and do the goal, and then move on, try something else.
No, that's super sick. That's super.
And-
That's super sick to experience that.
And to accomplish a goal like that, I feel like is really like every distance runner or mid-distance runner's like dream, to break like that 4-minute barrier. Then if I'm not wrong, that kind of like kicked off your whole entire like 2019 like track season, 'cause that was last year in the indoor season. Then you went on to have like a pretty like good outdoor season, and then even better cross country season. And then speaking on that, like we were talking about pin relays earlier, just talk about your pin relays experience this year when you're in that 4x mile. And I really just rewatched that video, and that last leg, it's the dude from Indiana, Morgan McDonald, and you in 3rd place battling out for 4 laps.
Yeah, that was another great race. Last year was, the sub 4 really kind of boosted my confidence to a whole nother level, and kind of just for once I felt like I could like kind of put my hat in the ring with the big boys. But yeah, that the Penn Relays race, we ended up losing, but I was, I guess, happy with the way I kind of ran, confidence wise. At the end of the day, Morgan McDonald is Morgan McDonald. He just was too quick.
Yeah.
We ran tactical. We didn't really run fast until the last 200, and I was trying to wait as long as possible. And like, I just hit a certain point where I literally couldn't move my legs any faster, and Morgan McDonald and the Indiana guy could just go a little bit faster. So I probably wasn't.
I know that too well.
Like, it wasn't even like a lactic acid, tying up thing. It was just like, I can't move as fast as you right now. So that kind of, I was pissed after that race, but my coach was at least happy about the way I tried. And that's just another, it's good to have moments like that where you kind of get put down to, because it's humbling, and it's like, okay, like, he beat me now, and now like I know that I need to get a lot better if I want to win or get better and like get to that next level. So it sort of just like changes your mindset. Like, okay, I'm pretty good, but like in the grand scheme of things, I could be a lot better, and I have to like get mentally tougher and just get physically fitter. So yeah, Penn Relays was awesome experience. Really sad that it's not happening this year, but yeah.
Then you popped off at Brian Clay. You get in a pretty fast heat with like some pros and all the top NCAA guys, and you do your thing there too.
Well, you guys, that's where I met. I at least met Joshua.
Joshua.
What's going on? Subscribe, Athlete Special. Shout out Ruzi Project.
For sure.
Shout out Joshua. Love the channel. Love the content. Yeah, I at least met Joshua at Brian Clay. That was a really fun experience. I under the lights and just felt great that day. California just had all the right vibe and hype to it. And I mean, to be honest, I got 11th place in the race, and so like, I ran a big PR, but like a lot of guys beat me still. So at the end, it's a weird feeling because I was happy about my time, but it's like, all right, you got dragged to a good time. Like, a lot of people beat you at the end of the day, but that was like probably the highlight of my outdoor season. So that was cool that you guys were there for that. And it makes me want to move out to Cali at some point in my life. Love that area.
Hey, it's nice. You gotta come visit, man.
Definitely. If you come through to California again, we gotta get a run in or something. Definitely come down to SoCal or even where Aaron's at. That would be dope. But then also was wondering because Brian Clay, a great venue. You got literally got people that can like slap you on the track while you're running, and then Penn Relays probably it's like a football stadium. I've never been there, but it's just like insane. And where's like the what's the most exciting or just best like track race or venue that you've been at and that you love to run at?
Penn Relays. I gotta give it to Penn Relays because it's the only event where you feel like you're like on the level of a football player at the Super Bowl or something. There's actually
Hmm.
thousands of people there. Brian Clay's a really
Yeah.
really fun twilight type meet. It's like a great like runner only spectator um like vibe to it. But Penn Relays is something that you can only experience if or you only know the experience if you were there. Um, you walk into the stadium and there's literally like 50,000 people there, and you can feel the presence. It's cool when people are excited about track, and it's that many people. So Penn Relays for me definitely the most exciting track event.
And then moving on from there, from Brian Clay, you ended your track season. Just talk about like the end of your track season and what you really learned from this past year
So at the is the question the end of this track season or last year?
of the past track season. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So last year it was disappointing because I was in like the absolute best shape of my life at the Brian Clay meet, and then the Penn Relays right after, and then from there I got a little bit sick and just wasn't in that same mental and physical shape that I was earlier in April. So I ended up not making the NCAA outdoor meet, and that just killed me. I was like the first time I'd cried about running ever. I'm usually pretty fine about like you know a bad race, but that would killed me because I was like I really thought that I could do something special if I had made the NCAA meet, but I kind of choked it away at the regional meet, which is tough. But at the end of the day, it only kind of you know makes you stronger. I always say it builds character.
Yep.
Whether that's true or not, I just try and say it to make myself feel
It's it's
better.
true. It's true.
Yeah, so that was the end of last year track, and it's sad because I wanted to have a redemption arc and make the NCAA meet this year and try and do something, but obviously that's not happening. But
Yeah.
that's just life for you. That's just the way she goes, and I'm on to other stuff anyway. So it
Yeah.
was, yeah. Last year track was a great experience. We are where we are now.
Yeah, and then you got that whole fifth year ahead of you. I've had experience with the fifth year before. It's fun. And you had a graduate program that you're getting into. So I'm sure you're coming into this year with a vengeance. It's disappointing that we're not gonna get to see you on the track this year, but you had a pretty good cross season, getting eighth at regionals. Um, and then heading into indoor, you're kind of doing your thing there. But go into that a little bit, like how was that cross season for you, and what were your expectations for indoor right after?
So yeah, for cross, I definitely had the best cross year of my life, but I mean, let me just tell you a little something about college cross country. It's miserable. It is so hard. As a middle distance runner, I'm not kidding. Like, it is some of the most miserable experiences of my life. You feel
Really.
like you're dying for 30 minutes straight in a 10K. And you just go,
Oh,
there's not a second of it that doesn't want to make you die. I'm telling you, it is miserable. Maybe I just was never tough enough for it, but it's it's just something else. It took me 5 years to get decent at it, and yeah, the
mm,
regional race meant a lot because we for the previous 2 years had not made the national meet for cross country, and I felt like I was probably the one who was responsible for why we didn't because I choked at regionals twice in cross. So this final fifth year was my last chance to help the team make nationals. We ended up getting second place at regionals, so we qualified. So that was a huge emotional moment for me. Um, one that I will remember for the rest of my life. And then by the time I got to NCAAs for cross country, I was gassed. I was so tired from running a 10K the week before, and it was muddy out. And I'll tell you this: I tried as hard as I could in that NCAA cross race, but the legs just, they were not moving that day. I'll tell you that. And it was muddy, so I ended up placing like 200th place at the national meet. So I was disappointed with that. But I think that it was a big step for our program to get back to cross country nationals. And then for indoors, I honestly was very disappointed with my final indoor season in college. I was just in honestly bad shape for like the first half of the season. I think a big reason for that was because I had a very successful cross country season, and just physically and mentally I took a lot of time off after, and thought I could come back for track quicker, and tried coming back fast, had a little small injury, not like a long-term thing. And then just the first half of the season was me trying to get back into good shape, and I finally by the end of indoor was really ready to go and back to peak fitness. And it was just disappointing that we didn't get an outdoor season, but I really felt like this indoor was just a bunch of tough races that kind of just made me, I was getting better every race. And like I said, I just felt like at the end of the season I was finally good to go and primed for outdoor. So disappointing there is no outdoor season, but at the end of the day you get a lot more time to train. Everyone has an opportunity now to kind of level up their own running because of the time we have been given to just train. So that was sort of just the sum up of my last year of college.
Mm-hmm. I've been telling everybody right now during this coronavirus, like, life, I know it seems like life is on pause, but it's really not. Like, this is a time for anyone to come up on anything, whether that's like getting into your running, starting that podcast you wanted to do. But there's really, like, right now, this is the time to really be grinding on something. Like,
yeah, I totally agree with that. And I don't like when people say like, oh, there's no point to train right now because there's no races. Because if there was an outdoor track season, you'd be racing and training for that, and that would help your cross country season for the next year. But kids kind of just not training and doing nothing now. It doesn't, like, you could make the argument it doesn't make sense to train, but it also makes no sense not to train. So I think that you make a good point. This for some people, they could take advantage of this time and start doing stuff that they have wanted to do for a while. Yeah, like starting a podcast, start a YouTube channel, just start training more. There's a lot of time, and it's really rare that any of us get this amount of time to kind of do what we want. So I think looking at it positive like that is really, really a good thing.
And then especially what you've been doing, you just really started launching like your apparel since you got from underneath the clutches of NCAA. You really on your own now. We all see the crew neck right there, and then you just dropped some pullovers, like a pullover windbreaker. So like, what do you just see the future of like your apparel and athlete special going in the next couple of years?
Thanks for asking about that. I'm really excited about the future. It's called TAS Running, so it's the athlete special, but paraphrased. And we really eventually are going to get into much more athletic apparel. We kind of teased those windbreaker rain jackets. We only ended up doing a really small exclusive drop for them. And then right now we just have like the OG athlete special stuff out because that's what a bunch of people want right now. They want the hoodies and the crews, but eventually we are going to be making like athletic, running shorts, and hats, shirts, athletic, just all athletic wear. And we're super excited because we think that, I think both my partner, his name is Ethan Rosen. He helped start TAS Running with me. No one really knows him from my vlogs, but he will be put into more very soon. He's like the behind the scenes guy. But we just have so much in store for the next year, and we plan on rolling out so many new drops, and I'd like to say that it'll be somewhat similar to what Tin Man Elite is doing, but we obviously it's obviously going to be our own spin on apparel, and we're not going to just we're not here to steal any other ideas. We have our own ideas and formula for what we're trying to do with the brand, but I think it's all about kind of just embracing the grind, embracing the process, that type of thing. That's like the message and the ethos of TAS running. And I think that just any runner, whether you're like 11 years old watching one of our videos or like a 60-year-old person, like that idea of trust the process or embrace the grind kind of resonates with anyone.
So can we expect to see like some vlogs like in the warehouse making apparel, like switching it up, kind of showing some of that side too?
100, that exactly, you hit it perfect with that. That's exactly what we plan on doing. Obviously we kind of have to, like, I have to be careful with the type of videos I post right now on YouTube, in terms of just like respecting social distancing stuff. So that I'm not sure when, but that's exactly what we want to do. And then we're still figuring out living for next year, and I've got a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes, but I'd really personally like to move out west somewhere, whether that's like California, Colorado, or Flagstaff, Arizona, just to kind of really like get into that pro running lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds dope, bro. And we're really excited to see where you're going from there. But let's just move on to some type of like closing out questions as we close out like this great podcast with the great Spencer Brown, aka the Athlete Special. And like one thing is like, what's like, we know you're on YouTube, so you gotta be watching YouTube at least a little bit. Like, what's your favorite YouTube channels right now? It doesn't really have to pertain to running, but like, what are you really messing with right now on YouTube?
So YouTube, outside of YouTube running, I really like Dude Perfect, that trick shot YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They do some crazy stuff.
They're clean.
They're just like really cool guys, and they do real fun, sporty stuff. I don't even fish at all, but I watch this guy called Black Tip H fishing. Just such random. That just shows how weird YouTube is. That like you could get into videos like that, and a little bit of David Dobrik. I'm not gonna lie. I watch David Dobrik. I think he's hilarious. That whole vlog squad.
But he's king now. That's what I'm saying. David Dobrik's king on YouTube right now, for real.
Yeah. David Dobrik, of course. Logan Paul, like I've seen, he's recently been putting some funny content out, but I don't listen. I actually enjoyed listening to a couple of his podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Impulsive, and then I've always really liked Adam22. I don't know if you'd know him. He's like he does podcasts with like up and coming rappers.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's such an assortment of random YouTube stuff.
Is that No Jumper?
Yeah,
No.
No Jumper.
Oh, okay, for sure. I know No Jumper. But speaking about No Jumper, what musical artists are you really listening to right now?
Well, I've always been a huge X fan, and it's really, I mean, obviously Rip X, but I mean, there's always new X music, which is crazy. And then other than like that, I'm not like crazy into any new stuff out right now. I'm kind of listening to a bunch of like just the baby bangers when I'm running on the treadmill or something like that. Just like pretty basic ass stuff.
Yeah. The baby got slappers though. But do you feel like, because me and Josh always talk about how we listen to a lot of different podcasts and YouTube and stuff, and like I always feel like I could find like inspiration out of something so random, like whether it's like No Jumper, and you know the guests. No Jumper has some wild guests on there sometimes.
Yeah.
And you can like, I don't know, I feel like I could just watch like some random video and I'd be like, oh, like that's kind of cool how they did that. Like how can I apply that to like to Running Report? Do you feel like you get inspiration from other people like that too?
Definitely. A lot of my videos come from other YouTubers, and it doesn't even have to do with like running. A lot of the time, it's like, oh, the way that they cut that shot was cool. I'm gonna use that in a video.
Yeah.
Or like, just like, oh, the message that they're trying to spread, I like that. Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, YouTubers can use each other to kind of help build their audience and make their content cleaner, better, and it's such a learning curve, and there's no perfect formula to a YouTube account or content, and it's always changing. That's like the fun part with it. So I definitely, sometimes I'll steal a video idea from Nick Simmons here and there if I need to.
That man's grinding on YouTube. He grinds.
Hey, speaking of Nick Simmons, real quick, I saw you did the pacer test.
Yeah,
I destroyed Nick Simmons.
I did, but I was getting a lot of comments from like 12-year-olds saying like, I scored a 150, I scored a 180. I only scored a 135, and I was dead.
No lie. When I was in the 8th grade, I promise I beat the pacer test. Like, I finished it, and they're like, "You have completed the pacer test," and I was like, "Yeah." I did that in jeans, bro. Like, it's like a PE.
Yeah.
I was like pretty proud of myself. I want to try it again though, because I remember it being really hard towards the end.
It is hard. You gotta be sprinting at the end.
It's hard, and like I forget. Like, obviously, I played soccer back in the day, but like that quick twitch turnaround has kind of, I have not done it in a while, so my hips were so sore after, and my calves and Achilles were so sore, and it's just the turning and like the quickness of having to go back and forth. I kind of forgot what that was even like. So you guys should try it out, make a video out of it. It's just fun to do.
Yeah.
So and then, right now, honestly.
With that, we just want to get you out here real quick. We got one more question. Just like, what mark do you want to leave on this sport of running as you move into your professional career and onward?
So I've said it for a while. I just want to change the way that people look at running. That's why I make my videos as personal as possible, and I think that there needs to be so many more personalities in the sport, because that's exactly what the sport's missing. In football and basketball and baseball, there's personalities in their sports. There's social media with the athletes. That's what brings in the money. That's what brings in the fans. And look, like, I'm a sub 4 miler, but like there's a lot more sub 4 milers out there that no one really knows or cares about. And they could start a YouTube channel. They should build their social media brand, because that's what's going to make people care about track, care about running in general, and make the sport bigger and better, and maybe like get it on TV or something one day. I don't know exactly where the sport's going, but I want to change it that way, and get people excited to want to do something with their self in the sport, and kind of just build their own social media.
Man, you're preaching to the choir right now, bro. You're preaching to the choir. Like, I believe in everything that you just said, and that's what we were trying to do on the Running Report as well. Just bring running to that mainstream level because we've been running for a long time, and the reason we've been running for a long time is that the sport's dope. Like, from going to track meets to watching it online to train every single day, it's a sport that that a lot of people do across the country. Like, cross country is one of the biggest high school like sports. Most people do that. So like that, definitely, bro. We think that you can bring it to that next level, and we're definitely gonna be rooting for you down the line, for sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and just having news outlets like Running Report to kind of help escalate people to that next level is going to be huge as well. It's going to be basically a community effort. Everyone has to just kind of support and be willing to help others to kind of bring track up a notch. So I like that we're all on the same page. Yeah, thanks for having me on, though. I really appreciate this.
No problem. Aaron, you got anything else left to say before we close it out?
I mean, all I gotta say is I think we're at the beginning of a movement right now. Like we're saying, we're seeing the YouTubers starting to pop up. You got Running Report popping up. Things are changing in social media so crazy. So we're gonna keep on rising to the next level. And to have Spencer on here, a future face of the sport, I'm sure, is awesome and an honor. But all I gotta say is, if you guys don't subscribe to the Athlete Special, like, what are you doing? You just went through this whole podcast. Go subscribe to the Athlete Special right now. Go buy an OG crew neck and hoodie at, is it taskrunning.com? Type it in right now, search it up, go buy a hoodie. I'm about to get one myself. But other than that, I mean, I don't really got much to say, Joshua.
All right, bro. Thanks for coming on, bro. We really do appreciate it. If you want to come back any other time, bro, we more than welcome to have you back on. And thank y'all for watching another episode of Two Black Runners. Doses.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Aaron from the Running Report. And I just want to say thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Two Black Runners. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube. And if you haven't already, we're on all streaming platforms. So that's Spotify, that's Apple Music. Go ahead, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at The Running Report. And don't forget to look up Taz Running. Go put that in your search bar, Taz Running, and go get yourself a nice, clean OG hoodie. Thank you, Spencer, for coming on again. And to everyone else, peace out. Much love. See you guys next Tuesday.